Hey guys, I hope you had a good day today. For myself, it was my first day at work of the year, 2023. So we had a bunch of snow last night and with some freezing rain, so it was pretty hard to go to work this morning. But we made it and have a great first day. And when I came back home, I had a lot of package at the door, so it's a pretty good day. We have the new spoolie boy right there that I will show a little bit more later, and we've got some new rims for the 8 gen. But for now, I want to talk a little bit about putting this block back together. We'll put some ACL race bearing, and everything is good on the rod and the piston, so I will put that back together. We'll do a little time lapse because you already see me remove it, so just putting it back together will be pretty fast. But first of all, we will do a little cleanup of the block. Be sure everything is very clean before putting it back together. Yeah, before putting back together the bearing, I do like to wipe them with some brake cleaner and a clean rag just to get the oil, protecting oil out of it. And then I like to use some Amsoil assembly lube to put on the bearing, because the engine will not start before a couple of weeks, so it will protect everything, and it will be ready for the first startup when the engine will be back in the car. So guys, just a little reminder, if you're putting an engine block back together, you want to use as much oil as you can on the piston, near the ringland, and on the sleeve, so that everything will be lubricated when it goes back together. And if you're putting back some old piston and rod, just be sure to put them back in the same hole that they came out. So all mine I have some number on them, to be sure to put them back in the same hole. And the cylinder number 1 is always the one on the timing chain or timing belt. So just a little reminder. And the cap for the rod are matched with the rod, so each one of these cap have to go with the same rod, and they have to go in the same way. So you can see there's some number on the side, and there is a number right there, so that has to go that way. So just be sure to put them in the same way they came back and in the same hole that they came out. So now we'll put some lube on the ring compressor and put the piston back in the engine block. Let's put back one together so I can explain a little bit more what I'm doing. So first thing to do is to put the intake groove on the intake side, and with everything with a lot of oil, you put your ring compressor in, and these things are not very handy, so you have to fight with them a little bit to put them at the right place. It's better to have the one that is the same bore of the piston beside this one that you can screw in, but it's the only thing that I have, and I've always used these to put my engine back together. Then you want to line up the piston and the bore. Be very careful not to scratch the bore with the rod. After that, you take the handle of the mallet and you square the ring compressor on the engine block. Then you put a little tap on the piston, and that's it. Piston is in. So always put some ARP Ultra Torque on the boat. When you buy a set of rod, they will come with the ARP 2000 bolt, and they also always come with a little package like that, and there is enough grease to torque them like 2 or 3 times easily. So always put a lot of moly grease on the thread and on the head of the boat, so that everything can be torqued down to the good torque number that they gave you. So these one are torqued at 55 pounds. Just like that. Then you take your cap, check for the number that I told you, and put it in the right spot. So this one is number 4, this one is number 1. Put the bolt in. And when I'm torquing the boat, I don't like to go to 55 pounds to one boat and then the other boat to 55 pounds. So I will just snug them, start at 20 pounds for each boat, and then I will go up to 55 pounds. And 55 pounds is not the torque spec for the stock boat. So if you're using stock hardware, just refer to the manual, and then you can know at what torque to torque them. And yeah, 55 pounds is a lot of torque on those little bolts. And when you're done torquing each bolt, always be sure that the crank spin freely, because if something bind up and your crank doesn't spin, you don't want to start the car like that. You want to know it before, while everything is disassembled, and this one spins freely, so that's a good sign. If you have to put a wrench on the crankshaft, that means it's no good. You have to remove everything and find what is the cause of the bind up. And on this engine, I just know that it uses a standard side bearing, so I don't have to measure everything. Everything was looking fine with the old bearing, so I just put some new one in, and I'll be safe for about half of the summer, and then midsummer we will tear everything back and replace the bearing again. Yeah, now it's the fun part. Let's talk about the new spoolie boy that I've got. So it's a Pulsar turbo. It's a little bit bigger than the old one that I was running, and as you can see, the old one had a lot of oil leak everywhere, on the cold side, even on the hot side. So that was a GTX 3584, and we made about 800 horsepower at 40 pound of boost, so it was very efficient, but not enough for our goal. So we now have this guy, and this is 6782 with a 126 AR exhaust housing, so it will flow a lot of air. It has a 3-inch compressor outlet. This one was 2.5. The impeller is 64 millimeter in this end, so it's about the same size of the other one. But the fun part is under it gets way bigger, so it will displace a lot of more air than the other one. And another thing too, the inlet is a 5-inch, and this one is 4-inch. And I will not use the T3 flange anymore. We will go with a V-bend, and the turbo placement will not be the same. So it's a V-bend flange, and this one was a T3 4-bolt. And as you can see, there is a lot of oil everywhere, and even on the exhaust side. And this one I welded a 3-inch V-bend. This one will be a 3.5 inch, so we'll have a lot more flow in the exhaust side. And as you can see, this one is way bigger, so we will not have a back pressure issue with this one. It will flow a lot of air. And yeah, so that's the new spoolie boy that we will put in the car this year. And the other package that I've got are my wheels. So these are VMS Racing 13 by 9, and they are 5 by 114. So you can bolt them up on the car, and the only thing that I need to do is put my Whitfield manufacturer tie rod, so the wheel can pass, because it does not clear with the stock tie rod. And I do have some base RSX brake that are at the shop that I will bring here tomorrow, and we can put everything on the car. But yeah, these are the wheels that we will run in the front, and that's the little spoolie boy that will hopefully get me to 1000 wheel horsepower with this block that we just put together. So if you guys like the content, be sure to subscribe, and I do have a goal to get to 1,000 subscribers before the summer, so let's get to 1,000 subscribers, and we will get the 8 gen and the 8 second this year, so it will be a very fun year. And have a good one, everyone. See you.